I remember about mid-December 2020, I was up in my room having one of those days where you are basically just thinking about everything and everyone in your life, knowing that a new year is around the corner. And I vividly recall sitting on my bed, just staring at the window, aimlessly daydreaming about what has brought me to this day and where I want my life to be in 2021. And so all this thinking is sort of overwhelming me. And I take a look at my remote and I take a look at my TV. And I think to myself, I just need to Netflix and chill for a little bit. It's not something that I do normally. I don't even know why I have Netflix, but I do have it for times like these, I suppose. And so I started looking up all the trending documentaries and things of that nature. And I stumbled across one of them that caught my attention. It's actually a follow-up of one I saw in 2016 on which I didn't act, but for whatever reason, it became increasingly curious to me. So I started watching, and today's video is all about minimalism. I should start today's video by prefacing that I'm not huge on New Year's resolutions. I never have, probably never will be, because for starters, I don't think that we are only subjective to changing our lives towards the end of a year. I think that we can do that on a everyday basis. And so I'm not huge on resolutions because of that fact. I think it's a little bit masochistic. And I genuinely believe that each day represents a brand new opportunity to change your life, hopefully for the better. Now, the reason why today's video is so important to me is because it has opened up a pathway to seeing life from a different point of view. That is to say, removing all clutter, both mentally and physically, from your life so that you can see clearly and know where you're standing, see all the things that have brought you here, as well as have a clear path of where you want your life to go moving forward. Without going too much into detail, the documentary itself explains how both Joshua and Ryan, who call themselves the Minimalists, came about sort of marketing the concept of, ironically, a concept of minimizing everything and everyone you've come to believe is contributing to clutter and is contributing to a whole hoarding of both physical items as well as mental agony, so that you have a sort of clear view of the things that are in your life and decide whether or not you are responsible willfully for having them there, and create that sense of awareness as to, should they still be there? Are they occupying too much space in my house, in my life? Are they a burden, or are they actually bringing value to my life? And so I thoroughly enjoyed the documentary. In case you haven't watched that yet, I highly encourage you to do that. It's sitting on Netflix, pretty for you to watch. The first one is called Minimalism. The second one is Less is Now, if I'm not mistaken. So definitely encourage you to check those out sooner rather than later. And so the reason for today's video, the reason why I'm so compelled to actually talk to you about this is because I not only have implemented in my life in many ways already, but I definitely see myself doing it in the near future, because I have seen so many benefits already. And I sort of want to point those out to you so that maybe you can ask yourself if you need to be doing the same thing. The first benefit that I have found as a result of having gone minimal is decluttering. I literally followed the instructions of the last documentary, which states that you sort of exercise a moving scenario. In other words, you sort of put together all your belongings in boxes. and see how long it takes you on an everyday basis to unbox all the personal belongings that you once stored. This is actually an anecdote that Joshua shared about Ryan and how he helped him pretend to move so that he could actually appreciate that he's only using 20% of his 100% belonging. And so I believe that after maybe a couple of months, Ryan's belongings, 80% of them were still in boxes, which is mind-blowing. And so I didn't exactly follow in that same scenario, but I started getting rid of a lot of clothing. I believe half of it was donated, half of it was recycled, obviously being vegan friendly. And so I don't know if you can tell, most of my clothing is now all black, monochrome. I don't have the burden of having to ask myself, what am I gonna wear today? Like, does this match? Does this go with this shirt, these pants, whatever? And so I don't have that burden anymore. Admittedly, I'm a little bit into dark mode right now, but at the end of the day, I don't have that stress of conforming to what style looks like, what fashion looks like. It's just so inspiring, and it's such a breath of fresh air to literally just throw on a black shirt, black pants, and just go out the door and about your business. It's very, very refreshing. I highly recommend you do that. Now, the second thing I want to talk to you about is I now feel, and an emphasis on the feel, right? I now feel as though I have more time to focus on the things that really matter to me. My app, my activism, my content creation. And I don't feel like I have all this hoarding to worry about. I now feel a stress-free life is taking over on an everyday basis. I now feel decluttered. I have more space in my apartment, which is admittedly not huge. And so, the bathroom is shrinking. I'm redoing that. My wardrobe is shrinking. I'm redoing that as well. And so these things are adding up, and small little things are adding a lot more value to my life. And so by decluttering, I now have all this time and focus and energy and attention to the things that need to be at the forefront of my life, that need to be on the front seat right beside me, so I can feel as though I'm right behind the driver's seat. Last but not least, and perhaps even most importantly, the documentary towards the end of it talks about the carbon footprint, right? The amount of consumerism we have is immediately correlated with the amount of impact on climate change and global warming and things of that nature. So by being repetitive customers, by being the victim of unconscious advertising and marketing, which is taking a toll on everyday economy, we are negatively impacting the planet in more ways than we can even imagine. So being a vegan activist, albeit for the animals first, I am fully aware of the human impact of the environment that humans have as a result of falling victim to consumerism. All in all, I wanted to casually mention the fact that I am now a minimalist because I think it is in the best interest of everyone involved. I think that a lot of people can benefit from living in smaller houses, doing away with things that they don't need, and saving all that time and energy into investing in what truly matters, making memories, having more meaningful relationships, saving a lot of money, and things of that nature. This is just the tip of the iceberg. I sort of wanted to introduce the topic to see if I can pique your interest. I definitely encourage you to at least look into it, do a little search online, try to watch both of these documentaries. They are very insightful, and they got me thinking, so much so that I am definitely going to invest in minimalism. If these words resonated with you, I definitely encourage you to look into this, because I think it is in your best interest to do that. That's it for me, guys. That is where I am going to leave it. If you got something out of this video and definitely piqued your interest, go ahead and give it a like. Definitely helps the channel quite a bit. And if this is in fact the first time that we are meeting each other, I'd love to see you. Again, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and make sure to hit the bell on the way out so that you don't miss a single one of my videos. My name is Francis, and I'll definitely see you in the next one. Take it easy.